You know what? I'm deeply concerned. I'm deeply worried for Americans in the world, and more Americans should be deeply concerned. We are seeing a divide right now, an unprecedented divide that we have not seen in recent history. Let me know when's the last time you saw somebody like Joseph Kent, who is the command control leader, the director of counterterrorism intelligence in the United States of America, chosen under President Donald Trump. And he used to love to serve President Donald Trump. But he has come out basically as a whistleblower, no fear, because his wife is already gone. His wife fought in a war. She died by a suicide bomber, actually. In one of the previous wars, I believe it was Iraq or Afghanistan, okay? And so he comes out, he writes this letter, and the riveting part that does not leave my mind is this. Two phrases that he said specifically. Look up the letter, look up our last video. You can binge our channel Journey with us to stay up to date on all of the war news, spiritual end times, and everything that's happening. But here's the thing. This letter, it said two phrases that stick with me more than anything else. He said, President Donald Trump, I cannot get behind you, because you are basically about to sacrifice the patriots, the Americans, the humans that live in America, and deplete them of their wealth. Now, I live in Africa. Wealth to the Swahili mind, wealth to the African mind, is typically 5 things. It's your health, having the right mindset, being married, having children, and then resources like actual wealth that you have. That's typically the way that Eastern societies, or at least African societies, view wealth. Western societies typically view wealth as oil, money, food, resources, things that they need to survive. And so for him to come out as the director, and guess what? These people in the government have said horrible things about this man that's a widow. Disgusting things, like things that are like, am I living in Nazi Germany? Like, do I have a Nazi Germany passport? Because the things that they said to this man and tweeted, they're bombarding him on the internet right now. They're basically trying to blackmail, shadow him, black ban, whatever they call it, where they go all over the internet and basically just spew all of these lies, all of this hatred, and say, oh, well, you're too weak. President Donald Trump called this man weak. W-E-A-K. He called this man, he said, well, I always thought he was a little weak. This man who served 11 tours, lost his wife in the war, and has to raise 2 children alone, who happened to be, was he weak when he was your director of counterterrorism intelligence? But he's pleading with you, if you go down this route, America will go down a route of no return. We will see destruction that we have never seen before as Americans. And it doesn't matter if you're American outside of America, because I've been outside of America for 6 years. I live in the Mascarene Islands region, okay? Run my businesses, raise my children, enjoy my time with my husband in paradise while all of this is going on, because I knew something like this would happen. I didn't know it exactly look like this. I didn't know it'd be this shocking. But those with discernment already knew this would happen. Leave a comment down below if you have discernment and you have known for years. Some of you are older than me. You were born in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s. And you have had this feeling for decades now that if somebody like President Trump got in office for his 2nd term, then Israel would be able to do whatever the heck they wanted to do. And then we have another issue. We have the issue of this AI thing and Netanyahu. All of the media sites in like Iran and like Turkey and all these different places, even in Europe, are saying that Netanyahu is actually not alive. But they keep putting out these clearly AI generated videos. And it's weird. The reason why it's so weird is that you truly believe humanity is that stupid to just put out these AI videos where these people's hands are crinkled up and they're just like crinkled up little hands next to a sweater, and you're like, what is this? I mean, we are at a time in the world that is very peculiar, very weird, very strange. It's feeling like a sci-fi movie. And listen, I used to love to watch sci-fi movies with my dad as a little girl, okay? Used to love sci-fi, but this time it's sci-fi in real life. If you're an American, if you're a UKian, a Canadian, if you're anybody, any human watching this right now, like this video and leave a comment and let me know what you think, what your stance is of the war and where you're from, so that Americans and people that are in the West and people that are in the East can understand what other humans think of these topics. Because that director of counterterrorism coming out and saying that, saying Iran is not an imminent threat, and then the people coming out on the news bashing him, I mean, dozens and dozens and dozens of people bashing him. A man that lost his wife. A man that's raising 2 children alone. A man that just stood up to the greatest empire that currently exists in the world. So the next question should be, what does Iran do after this? Because here's the other thing. I don't know if you know about this, what I'm about to tell you. Chime in down below if you know. If you know, you know. They have just said, Western news, American news, and Iran confirmed it, that they took out 2 more leaders. And the way that they talk about the Ayatollah's son, Ali Khamenei, I think is his name. You know, they say, you know, he's come out, but he's probably disfigured in a hospital. I hear his leg is blown off. They say this on the international television, on the international news, that everybody can read and see for themselves. They say that, and then they're like, yeah, we just took out 2 more leaders. We've taken out the whole cabinet of 40 leaders, nearly took out the son. Now we're taking out more leaders, and they dropped the 5,000-pound bomb today. 5,000 pounds, like multiple 5,000-pound bombs. I was on Threads, which is the Twitter of Instagram, because I'm an Instagram lady. I like Instagram. Not a big fan of Twitter. But Instagram, Threads, there was somebody that's an American. It was a white lady, blonde hair. She said, in 2025, I left America for good. I tried to get my family to go with me, but they wouldn't go. But here I am in Sweden. Americans are fleeing America. Not just Black Americans either, okay? Because when I left, it was mostly Black Americans. Like, every American is fleeing America, letting you know, hey, I'm gonna get this Canadian passport. Hey, I'm gonna get this Switzerland passport. Hey, I'm gonna get this residency in the Bahamas. I have an auntie. Oh, I'm gonna get this residency in Jamaica. Hasn't been to America even longer than I haven't been to America, like since 2015. Have an uncle-in-law. He's in Thailand. My dad, the way he grew up in the Philippines, actually. Americans are seeing the writing on the wall, and they have been for decades. But not all Americans see it. Some, like the ones that are on the news that are, you know, bashing this guy. Some of the just most horrible, immoral humans that you can find. You really do find the most immoral people of the world in America. I mean, you really do. Look at Epstein. Remember, they were going to bring out more about the Epstein files, but then it was like, okay, let's start this war. And the nations, they're not really enjoying this. This has huge implications for America. It is coming to a point where there is going to be no return. And not only that, but before I get to this, I want to tell you about the TSA agents and the partial government shutdown, because there are long, long lines for anybody to fly across America and to get out of America. Not only that, but they have closed down even small airports due to this partial government shutdown. But I obviously have different thoughts. I'm gonna get to that. Visit www.journeywithusmovetoafrica.com/services or click a one-to-one consultation below. My husband has one tonight. with a new client. People are coming out in droves. They're like, maybe I can do something in Jamaica. Maybe I can go to Paraguay. Maybe I can go to Seychelles. Maybe I could go to Mauritius. Maybe for me it's Rwanda or Botswana, or you know what? We have clients in the state of the diaspora that are like, hey, I visited Thailand first, then I went to Mauritius again, then I went over to Korea. Americans are fleeing in record numbers because they see the writing on the wall. And if you want to be in that number of people, if you want to work on your global mobility strategy with ease and an advisor that is there to assist you through that chaotic process, because it's more chaotic than it ever has been before, check the link in the description. But here's the thing, these small airports closing, I'm like, they're literally doing this on purpose. That's the breaking news this morning. They said they got closed down the small airports in America because the partial shutdown. The TSA agents, you know, they're not getting paid. Who can blame them? I don't work for free. I don't work for free. They don't work for free. This ain't the slave trade. So it's like, what can you say? Like, why are you not paying these people? Is it that hard to run the country? You know, I started thinking on this line because when you have nations like Greenland and Denmark making comments like, hey, President Donald Trump, just so you know, we've been a nation since the year 1295. You've been a nation since 1776. China said this, I believe it was last year or 2 years ago as well. China said, we've been a nation since 4000 BC. America's wake-up call is coming on every side. Every nation is side-eyeing our government, American citizens, and they're like, what is going on? Like, why is it like this? This is why I said I am worried for America and Americans, because the judgment is at the door. If you never thought the judgment was going to come to America, friend, sir, ma'am, you are completely walking in utter darkness at the moment. Like you have a blindfold on and you can't see what's happening. And it's concerning. It's deeply concerning. But that's all I have for this video. Because as I said, things are getting strange. Things are getting weird. Meteors falling from the sky in Ohio that are also heard in New York and Kentucky. Some people say, now I'm not in Ohio anymore. But it's interesting, I'm from Ohio, wasn't born there. But it's interesting because they're saying, you know, I thought it was a missile. Some people thought it was a missile. Who knows? Is it a meteor or a missile? Who knows? Leave a comment down below. Maybe you know. Maybe you can let me know. Because your girl has not been to Ohio in 6 years and does not at all plan on returning. I mean, hello. It's looking wild. It's looking insane. It's looking like you may want to just go live in the Pacific Ocean, in Tuvalu, Vanuatu, New Zealand, somewhere. You just may want to go. I don't know where you want to go. I know where I like to be, and I know what I like to do. And I share that testimony with you. I share that experience, that journey. I share our business, our family life, marriage, everything abroad, because life gets better when you leave America behind. Shalom, shalom. I'll see you in the next video.